of you and dreaming of this little kitty cat that's being such a silly goofball. So, Luna's tail. Welcome to the Animal Lovers Cafe. Come on in. I'm so excited that you're here. I'm really excited about the topic that we're going to be talking about. So just welcome and get yourself settled. And I have a question for you, as usual. Have you ever felt like your animal companion that's across the rainbow bridge is right here with you right now? Write yes or no in the comments. It's like, have you ever felt that or known that they're here with you because they visit us all the time? You love them and you miss them so much and you long to see them one more time, right? But would you know that they're actually here with you? Would you know? Do you know? Share with me in the comments, yes or no, if you've experienced that, because that's what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about the different ways that your animals visit you and how you can know that you really are like, oh, that's really real. They're here. Oh, wow. You know, that's how I feel. I don't know about you if you've ever experienced that, but when it does happen, it's just the best feeling in the world. Sometimes it's a little bit like, did I see that? But before we go on to talk a little more about sharing and share with you different ways that animals and humans too can show up that are across the rainbow bridge in spirit, whatever you want to call it. I just want to welcome anybody that's new. Oh, hi, Marcus. So I don't have to yell, do I? I have a microphone. Hi, Marcus. So welcome. I'm so glad you're here, and you brought popcorn. Thank you. We need popcorn and a big heart today. Definitely. You know, this is a topic that sometimes is really hard to talk about, but it's just the biggest joy also to share and talk about, our animals that are in spirit. So anybody that's new, please write new in the comments, because we have this great community, and not just me. I want to welcome you, but also the members of our community want to say hi. So you get to know each other and greet each other and chat with each other. And if you are new and you don't know me, my name is Janet Dobbs of Animal Paradise Communication and Healing, where my greatest joy is to help you discover your unique way of receiving communication from animals, not just animals that are here present with us, but animals that are in spirit too. You know, that might be a new concept for you. Maybe not. So, oh gosh, our animals that have crossed the rainbow bridge, we miss them so much. I mean, sometimes there's no way to put into words, but do you know they're here with us so often? They visit, and if they did, would you know? Would you know? Well, we're definitely going to talk about that in a little bit. But before we do that, as you know, I communicate with animals and I teach people like you how to do that for yourself, right? But there's animal communicators can play a wonderful role and be a wonderful help to you when you're grieving or after. Well, we always grieve. I don't believe in. Sorry, Marcus. We need some humor. You're always new, fresh. Thanks for being here, Marcus. But oh gosh. The role, I was going to share with you how an animal communicator can help you if your animal has crossed the rainbow bridge and you want to know how they're doing. You want to have a little talk with them. Find an animal communicator that you trust, or maybe there are some that specialize in this, and they can communicate with your animals, have this little back and forth conversation. Or maybe you can do it yourself. Of course you can do it yourself, but sometimes we feel like, I don't know if I'm getting this right. Is it, am I receiving this information and it's because I want it to be the truth, or are we receiving this information because, we got it right on. It's absolutely the truth, right? So sometimes it's nice to have that validation from an animal communicator. And also sometimes you can receive messages that you might not be receiving, or you might, you know what I mean? Yeah, Marcus, it is really sad. I don't understand why many of them live shorter lives than we do. But you know what? Some parrots live into their 90s or more. You know, they outlive us. So the thing about, I don't know, that's a real hard one. And that's a really good topic. I ask that question too, and often say it's not fair that we're left behind. And, we have to go through that grieving process. It's just really hard. It's really devastating. And so that's a whole other topic. That's a whole other topic about that. But, such a good point, Marcus. Thank you for bringing that up, that, they do outlive us. And I mean, other way around. Usually we outlive them. And therefore we have to go through the grieving process more than one time. And that can be hard. But this isn't about grieving. This is about celebration and about that connection. It's never broken. It never ends. It's just they're not in their physical body, but they're here with us. So I want to share with you this one little story, kind of. So speaking of animal communicators, many years ago, I went to a Victorian seance, right? So that was for humans. And there was this human medium, and I was at this table with a bunch of people, and the medium told this mother and son, they had they're not lost, they died. Their animal had passed, and they were grieving deeply, and they just wanted her to talk to the animal that was in spirit, right? That had crossed the rainbow bridge. And this medium said, oh no, they don't, you can't communicate with them. And I'm sitting there going, no, that's not true. So when she got up to leave, and a friend of mine, a student of mine, and we turned to them and said, you can very much communicate with animals as well as humans that are in spirit. So don't ever let anybody tell you that that's not possible. Because when she came back, I said to her, not to negate you, but I talk to animals in spirit all the time. And she said, really? I never thought about that, because she wasn't an animal person. And that wasn't who she was. That wasn't part of her life. So she never thought about it. So she made this statement that devastated people. No, I can't talk. You can't talk to animals in spirit. That's not true. You can. And they're very much here with us. And that's what we're going to talk about next. Animals in spirit and the different ways. This is so cool. Really. The different ways that we can know that they're here. So have you ever had a situation? I don't know the right word. Sorry. Situation wasn't quite the right word to say. But have you ever had one of your animal companions show up and you're like, wow, they're here. I know it was them. So we're going to talk about, and I'm going to share with you some different signs, and this might help you remember, like, oh my gosh, I had that happen. Is that really real? It's very real. So signs that your animal companion is visiting you. One of the easy ones is you're thinking about them, or you have these feelings, about them. They're here with you. So when they're just like when, an animal or a human, you're thinking about them, and then they call you on the phone and you're like, I was just thinking about you. You're thinking about them. They're thinking about you, and they're right here. They're right here with you. Isn't that comforting? And you might go like, well, I don't see them. Would you be able to handle that? Because not everybody can. I don't know that I could. It would be amazing, but that's another way. But you might smell them. It's like you're in your inside or outside, and with horses it would be outside, but and the smell can come inside with horses that are in spirit. You just smell the smell and like, oh my gosh, that smells like them. That's a sign that they're right here with you. You know, you might have a physical touch. You might feel that physical touch, like, like fur tickling you. You're like, oh my gosh, they just brushed up against my leg. That physical touch. And you look down and there's nobody there, right? Ooh, yeah, they're here. They're really trying hard to say, hey, Mom, hey, Dad, I'm right here. I'm here. I'm here with you. And then you might hear their voice. Like a bark, a meow, a neigh. One time that happened to me, I was in the shower and I heard this yow. And I was like, and in the shower, I went, Katie, I'm here. And then I had to take a step back and go, she died like 6 months ago. Wait, that was so real. And, of course, I went outside, the shower, the bathroom, and she wasn't there, of course, because she had passed away like 6 months before. But I mean, I swear, I heard her. And it never happened again. But it was the most amazing thing. So that can happen. That's a way that they can show us that they're here. It's like, I'm here. And we're like, no, I don't think they're here. I wish they were here. I wish we could talk to them. Yes, you can. They're here. So you hear their voice. You might hear like the sound of their collar, like if it's a dog or a cat that has tags and that jingle, that make that sound when they move. You might hear that and look around as if, they're here, because they are. They're just giving you a sign because they really are here. I don't know how this works. I just know what I've experienced and what other friends of mine and my clients and my students have experienced. You can also hear the pause, like, when dogs walk across a floor that doesn't have carpet on it, you click, 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 click. You can hear that sound, or maybe the horse hooves, or just a sound of them walking. You can hear that and turn and go like, wow, wait, I know I heard that, but I don't see them. They're there. They're right there with you. Another way that they might show you that they're present is you're in bed and you feel them, or you're, say, in a chair or on a couch and you feel them getting in the place that they always got before, and it feels really real. I've not had that experience, but my husband did. It was so amazing. He told me he doesn't believe in any of this stuff. Okay, first of all, and I know he does though. But he came downstairs, and he said he was laying in bed, and it was that time just between waking up and being asleep, and he felt like he had his arm around our kitty Sammy, and he said he was just petting him like he always did. And when he woke up, nobody was there, and he was really shaken in a way. He said it was so real, because it is real. It's very real. Sammy was there with him. He was showing himself. I mean, isn't that amazing? So that's another way. And Luna's here like, I'm here. Why are you talking to the ones that are gone? Pay attention to me. Oh my gosh. So, okay. Let me see if I can pay attention to her a little bit. Well, that's just the back of Luna, so we'll just wait until she lays down to bring her on. But also, so some other ways that you can know that your animal companion is present with you. I've had this happen many times. That peripheral vision. So you see like a shadow moving, and for me, it looked like a cat moving across the kitchen floor or moving across someplace, right? And I turn and I look, and it's like, well, it's not Max or Luna. Oh, wow, that was Sam. Or, oh, that was Katie. Oh, that was Rudy. They're here with us. And just in that peripheral vision, we saw them. That happens to me not every day, but from time to time. And it always takes me back. I always look, and it's like, oh, wow, that wasn't one of my guys. So it has to be somebody saying hi. They're present. What are your thoughts about that? Have you ever had that happen? So also another way that you can know they're with you is if you're sensitive to energy. It's like the feeling, say, of the room that you're in, and then it changes. The energy changes. Or maybe the temperature gets warmer, the temperature gets colder for no reason. That could be your animal companion or a group of them just showing up, saying hi, checking on you, having that connection. There's also, they can show up in dreams. I don't remember my dreams, so I don't really have that experience, but I know a lot of people that do, and they show up in the dream. They give you a message. Sometimes they give people messages in the dreams. Isn't that wonderful? To let you know, hey, I'm okay. I'm right here. I just don't have that body that I had when I was with you. But I'm here. It's me. It's me. It's just not this body. So also, okay, this is really interesting. I think I've had this happen. Their favorite toy suddenly moves, or it just kind of shows up. It, like, all of a sudden you kept it in a place because you just, you didn't want to let it go. So you have it in a special place, and all of a sudden it's not in, say, a little basket you have it in. And then all of a sudden it shows up on the floor somewhere. And you're like, well, wait, I didn't move that. That's your animal saying, hello, I'm here, letting you know. So another thing, this happens with humans and animals. They can work with electricity. You're like, what? A light flickers for no reason. It's just them saying hi. So that's another way that they can show up. They can also show up as other animals. I have she was a teacher of mine, and she had a horse that she adored, and it died. And when Tessa was a girl, when she passed, my teacher was devastated. And she said, then this hawk started showing up, and it was a messenger from her horse, and it showed up at various places, various stages, just to go, hey, it's me. I actually saw the hawk one time that showed up, and I just said, hey, the hawk just went by. She says, yeah, that's the horse. So be open to all kinds of possibilities, right? You can get written messages from them. So you've probably heard about this one. A book falls off of a shelf. It opens to a certain page, and you look at a passage and you read it, and it's like, oh, that's so profound. And it's a message from the animal. It can also be a message from a human too. But it's also, a lot of people have heard about that with humans, never think about it with animals. So you're reading something and it's like, oh, wow, that reminds me of, Fluffy or Spike or whoever. That's them communicating with you, really getting your attention. That gets your attention, right? And I've had this happen it happened with Rudy, who was our last kitty that crossed the Rainbow Bridge, passed away. It's happened with my dad too. Songs, over and over, a song keeps playing with a theme that reminds you of them. Or maybe it was a song that you played when they were around, so that's another way that animals can show up to let us know, hey, I'm still here. I'm with you. I'm right here with you. So yeah, I just have you had any of those experiences? And just please share in the comments, with your animals that have passed and ways that that they're present. So this I wanted to share with you. This is Angel Rudy, and another way that they can kind of still be in our lives. They can lead us to or send us a new animal companion, and you may not be ready. And so it comes in your own time, if ever. But Rudy, very, very shortly after he passed, he sent not Sammy and Katie. I'm sorry. Luna and Max. This is Luna and Max, who are with us right now. And Rudy sent us to them and sent them to us. It was very clear that he had his paw in it, and he gave us messages that he wanted us to not be without an animal, because so many animals need homes and need love and kindness. And also they're here to help us, on our journeys. They love us so much, Yeah. So, oh yeah. Oh, hi, Dwayne. Let's see there. So good to see you. So what's up is we're talking about animals that are in spirit, across the rainbow bridge, our animal companions, and the different ways that we can know that they're here. So just kind of to recap really quick, some of the ways we can know that an animal companion is here with us. They really is, we can be thinking about them, so that's a connection, right? But they're here. Or maybe in the room you have a scent of them. And this happens with humans that are, on the other side as well. You smell a smell, and in the case of an animal, you can smell the horsey smell, or the dog, the way that they smelled when they had been outside and they come back inside, or that kitty smell. They have a smell, and so all of a sudden you might smell it and go like, wait, what? It's them. It's them. That physical touch, you might feel them rubbing against your leg or feel something brush across your face. And I really love the one that I've not experienced, but a lot of people do experience. If they were in bed with you, dog, cat, usually, not a horse, usually, you can feel them as if they've gotten in the bed and they've done their little circle and they've laid down. They feel it. And then you look and there's nothing there. And sometimes, I didn't mention this, there's an actual indentation in the bed or the chair, the couch, where they are or where they were. It's like, oh, okay, wow, that's amazing. And I've mentioned what happens for me is that peripheral vision. Out of your peripheral vision, you just see a shadow moving, like at the level in the same way that they did. When it happens to me, and it happens pretty often, I turn thinking it's my guys, Max or Luna, and they're not there. And I was like, oh, okay, hello, whoever was here. So those are different ways there's many different ways that they connect with us, that they show us they are still very present. They're very, very, very much with us. They love us, and they're always connected with us. They're in our heart. So there might be some ways that you remember them and connect. Like I have this little paw. I don't know if you can see it. It's Rudy's paw print, and somebody made, it's probably pretty hard to see it, but that's his actual paw print, and somebody made it into, something I can wear around my neck. So I feel close to him, but I don't need that to be close to him. But there's all kinds of things we can do to feel close to our animal companions. So just pause for a second to just feel them, because maybe you're thinking about an animal right now that's across the rainbow bridge. They're here right now with you. They're with us. They love that we've gathered together right now in this moment. They come. So back here, these are all my animals. Well, the horse, Nathan, he wasn't actually mine, but the closest that I came to a horse. But the bunny and the dog, the 3 kitties, are all animals that are across the rainbow bridge. And they come and visit from time to time. I think about them a lot. They always have great advice for us if we're open to listening to it, or just that knowing they're here and they're present. It's a comfort. And sometimes you can't feel that when you're in the midst of the deep grief. But yeah. So speaking of, messages from the Rainbow Bridge, have you received any messages? Have you really known for sure that you've had a connection with your animal companion? I'd love to hear about it if you'd write it in the comments, or just say, yes, you've had that, or no, you haven't, and maybe you'd love to have it, or maybe you don't want to have that experience. But there's some other things that can happen so your animals, especially after they've just passed away, to let you know they're okay. So, I had this teacher, an advanced animal communication teacher, and we were doing the segment about working with animals that were getting ready to pass or that they had died and communicating with the animals in spirit. So the teacher said, so I'm going to share with you, get to know what they feel like, what their energy feels like right now. So when they are present, when you're present with them, how do they feel to you? Like when they walk in a room, how do they feel? And the theory behind this is that after they cross the rainbow bridge, you'll know when they're present because you know that feeling already. And that energy still comes. It's still them, right? I couldn't do that. I tried and I tried and I tried and I tried. And you know what? It didn't work for me. So I thought, I can't do this. But guess what? We all receive communication in different ways. So what comes from me, how I know my kitties especially are here, maybe you have this too, is I knew all my kitties have a song that's them. It's clearly them. And so maybe, music is an energy form. And so with Cleo, that was the very first kitty that I ever lived with. It came with my husband. It was my husband's kitty. I'd never been with kitty cats before. And she just hooked me. She got me hook, line, and sinker. And when she passed, I was devastated. When she shows up, I hear her song, "Mer-rat." And I'm like, Cleo, you're here. I just hear it in my head, "Mer-rat." I feel it in my body. And I know she's there. And so if I go, Cleo, and I hear it, I feel it, "Mer-rat." I was like, oh, here you are. And with Sammy, his song is meow, meow, ma, 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 ma. And I know he's here. I hear his song. I hear him singing his song. And it's that voice in your head, kind of, that feeling. It's a feeling, I don't hear it outside. Like I told you about that Katie. I was in the shower and I heard her, yow. And it was right after she passed. And I responded like I usually do. And I was like, I'm here. Because it was that meow, like, where are you? And I was like, I'm here. And I was like, wait, Katie died last month. How did, no, I heard that. That's the first and only time I've ever really heard. So Katie, what is her song? Oh, she's got a funny song. Katie was a character. She was a tortie. And her song was, growl, growl. So I know she's here when I hear that. That's unique to Katie. And Rudy, oh my gosh, the little character. He was loud when he was here in his physical form. He had a loud voice. He wanted everybody to hear him. There was no question that he was around. So I hear this, yeah, I won't do this, yow, yow. And I'm like, Rudy, you're here. So just so you know, if there's different ways to receive this communication from your animals, and there might not ever be an audible kind of a sound. You might just feel them, or it might be really subtle, like their smell. So be aware of those kinds of things. And another thing that you might not know, animals can come through other animals. So animals in spirit can kind of get a message to you through another animal. What am I talking about? This happens with Max. Max looks very similar to our kitty Sammy. And Sammy died in 2007. So it's been quite a while. And every once in a while, Max will be walking along and he looks like Sammy. He acts like Sammy. And I'm like, Sam, and it's like, oh, no, I know it's you, Max. But Sammy is there just for a second through Max. It's the most fascinating thing. And maybe you've had that happen where an animal, reminds you just in a moment of another animal. I'm not going to get into reincarnation here because that is that's a whole other topic. But I do believe that the animals do come to us in different ways, and they let us know they're here present with us. They're very much with us. And my feeling is whoever the animal is that is now, believing in reincarnation or not, they're that individual who's living in this physical body just like us right now. Experience the physical life right now that we're in. So that's just a really a special thing. And if you want to go deeper with this kind of thing, being able to connect with your animals that are in spirit, I invite you to join the Animal Meditation and Healing Group. We meet live, but you don't have to come live, the first Wednesday of every month. And we meditate. I do a guided meditation. And being quiet in that meditative space is where you need to be able to really receive from an animal, whether they're alive and in a physical body or if they're in spirit. So I invite you to join me and a really lovely group of animal lovers. So just check that out. The link is in the description. Yeah. So I want to just thank you all so much for being here with me, with all of the animals that are here. We're just so lucky to have them in our lives, right? And I hope you can come back whenever. Thank you so much for being here. Be on the lookout and be aware of your animals that are in spirit are actually sending you messages. They're really saying like, hey, I'm here, I'm not gone. Don't grieve, I'm right here with you. They love you and they want to help us live our lives. If you open to it, they have all kinds of messages for us to help us on our life's journey. So thank you so much for being here. Have the best day, night, evening, weekend. Take care, everybody. Have fun with animals.